For today's weekly Jinx video, and for those that don't know, every Wednesday we do a Jinx video, whether it's with the lore, the meta, a certain build, matchup, anything to do with Jinx, and it's decided by you commenting in the comment section down below about what you want to see me talk about for next week's Jinx video. As well as this video sometimes acts like a discussion thread video on the Jinx subreddit, League of Jinx, so feel free to check that out. Now for today's topic, we're talking about patch 7.17, our expectations for how we think Jinx is going to do in this patch, and also any advice we'd give to a new Jinx player or someone looking to pick up Jinx for the first time in this patch. And I'll start with my own experience, which is, I was on a losing streak with Jinx for the past couple of patches. I switched up my runes and masteries, I'm back to winning again, and what I think it is, actually more so than anything else, is there are less things that Jinx has to deal with in lane than she did before, and there's also more protection, more so than ever. Yes, you know, the whole Janna and Ardent Sensor thing has been a thing. There's a lot more just protection in the bot lane period in terms of like Taric, things like that. But also when I talk about the things she has to deal with, a lot of people are starting to ban Twitch instead of Draven given your elo. And on top of that, Caitlyn's been hit so many times finally that people have stopped picking her, and as such she's not really even ban worthy anymore, to the point even if you play a lane against her, the traps are still as annoying as they've always been, which in my personal opinion is the actual problem with Caitlyn, but whatever, that's a video for another time. Jinx now definitely wins the matchup though against Caitlyn because of how many times she's been nerfed, and she was nerfed so much because of her, you know, status in professional play, and even after these nerfs she's still getting prioritized in professional play, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw even more nerfs to Caitlyn going forward, which in itself would be a somewhat buff to Jinx. Now yes, one of the top 80 carries overall to play right now is Tristana, but even looking at that, Tristana is a demolitionist, she builds a lot of attack speed, has high damage by the late game, and has resets. Those are all things Jinx can do if Tristana is either picked away or just flat out banned, and if anything is probably the go-to after Tristana at that point. If anything, depending on the skill, matchup, it's a winnable lane for Jinx as well. So unless you're going against like a Tristana god, you can win that matchup with Tristana as well. It just might be a little bit more annoying because Tristana is a bit more slippery than Jinx is. But with all of that being said, why I say if you're a new Jinx player or someone looking to pick up Jinx because maybe you're getting auto-filled to AD carry often, you need another AD carry that's somewhat more easier to play than a Draven or a Vayne, Jinx is definitely really good to play right now if you, for example, just don't want to play Tristana because maybe you're sick of seeing Tristana, you don't want to touch Tristana with a stick even, so then go for Jinx. Jinx right now is in a really decent spot, but the one kind of asterisk I want to put with this entire video, if you're watching and listening this far, is they mentioned that they wanted to look at playoffs for this past weekend because North America and EU and Korea for that matter and China, they've all started their playoffs as they're making their run to see who qualifies for Worlds for October. They want to make a pass and look at the bot lane ecosystem, if you will, and see which outlining champions need a little bit more buffs to get back into competitive viability, and also which are the outlines that might need to be nerfed a little bit. So I brought up Tristana, for example, to say if Tristana really is that problematic in pro play, you might not want to pick her up because she's going to get nerfed. And Jinx, meanwhile, has been picked like a slightly bit more in pro play after the zap cooldown buff, and by slightly bit more, I mean literally only twice more in the dozens of games that's still been played since that buff, so they might make a pass at her and buff her slightly in another area. I don't want to get anyone hyped or anything like that, and I kind of just did by accident, I'm sorry, so don't expect it, or if it doesn't happen, please don't get disappointed, but bot lane might be getting some more changes, and Jinx might be one of those changes, so that might also be another reason to give her a look, because she's not in too high of a spot that she's going to get nerfed, at least in competitive viability for pro play. So, in the comment section down below, let's have a discussion about the talking points that I've talked about, as well as give your advice to a new Jinx player or someone looking to pick up Jinx in patch 7.17. My diagnosis, if you will, is she's a great champion to play right now. She's also not top tier, so she's probably not going to get banned away from you and flying under the radar right now. One of the best times to pick a champion, period, when that happens. But feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as share this video with other people so they can get in on the conversation. But I don't know which video will be next, because life will be quite a mess. So until next time, take care. From the Fire God FS, and thank you for watching.